I'd like to thank you for inviting me on the show. It's such an honour to be here, and I'd just like to say that when I'm not playing Xbox with my mate Thor, I really like to listen to my favourite podcast, Pop Culture Pasta. Hey Dave, I'm thinking about doing another revolution. Do you want to join up? I might need some help with organising the pamphlets though.
Pop Culture Pastor.
Okay, Cody. Just when you thought Hollywood had run out of ideas, they looked deep into your dad's record collection. And they said, you know what this world needs?
Some Steely Dan?
That would have been good, but that's not where I was going.
Okay.
They need Hugh Jackman in a bedazzled jumpsuit belting out Neil Diamond tunes.
We've already done this.
We've already done what?
Well, not Hugh Jackman, but we've already done a Neil Diamond tribute band.
Are you talking about the Saving Silverman movie?
Oh, yeah.
With,
that might be Jack Black's best movie.
The kid from American Pie?
Yes.
Jack Black? Yeah. Well, Cody, listen, I know you're a big fan. Don't act like you didn't cry the last time you heard Sweet Caroline at a Royals game. You tried to pretend it was allergies, but we all saw you air hugging strangers in section 102. Cody, this is not a drill. This is a real thing. A Neil Diamond tribute band movie starring Wolverine and Penny Lane. The Penny Lane. You might know her as Kate Hudson.
Yeah, I do know her as Kate Hudson or Catherine.
Song Sung Blue is the name of the movie. I should say, by the way, this is Pop Culture Pastor. My name's Dave. Cody's here. Sometimes we start the show in weird ways. We're going to do the news first, and this is news. Song Sung Blue, a feel-good drama based on the real-life story told in a 2008 documentary of the same name. You familiar with this?
I am not familiar with it.
It's hitting U.S. theaters on Christmas Day 2025. The film tells the tale of two struggling performers who find love and second chances by starting a Neil Diamond tribute band. If that doesn't make you smile, I don't know what will. That just sounds great.
Yes.
I'll take that. Film stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson as the romantic leads. And it's like 2003 all over again. You get Kate Hudson, Wolverine, the supporting cast, stacked too. Michael Imperioli, Fisher Stevens, Cody.
That's someone.
Oh, dude, he was big in the 80s for a little while. He was in Short Circuit. Maybe both the Short Circuits movie. Had a guest stint on Friends when he dated Jennifer Aniston for like a couple weeks. Yeah. And the actual Jim Belushi also in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So Craig Brewer directing. He's best known for the movie Hustle and Flow. He's the one behind this musical redemption story. And inspired from the documentary. So it's another example of documentaries inspiring dramatic retellings a la King Richard and The Eyes of Tammy Faye. So there's a trend happening. Do you see this? See this trend?
I do, and I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Why is that?
It feels like Oscar bait, and usually I don't know if those films are actually worthwhile rewatches.
Okay.
They're like one-offs for me. Like, okay, I saw it. Now I know the story. I'm done.
I hear you. On the scale of 1 to full Hallmark, though, Cody, how Christmassy does a Neil Diamond movie have to become or have to be to become a holiday classic? Like, I'm thinking about, could this be the next huge, it's a Christmas movie, but it's not overtly a Christmas movie, and it's Neil Diamond-y?
That would be better.
That would be great. I need a holiday movie that ends with, "They're coming to America. They're coming to America today." I'm alone on this, apparently.
Brother Loves Salvation show.
Brother Love?
Yeah.
Is that a wrestling thing?
No, that's a Neil Diamond song. How dare you?
Oh, man. You know how long it's been since I've listened? It's been since my mom's records. That's how long it's been since I've really sat down and listened to Neil Diamond. Anyways, Hugh Jackman, who apparently has a contractual obligation to star in at least one musical every 3 years. Maybe that's just his natural thing, though. It's hard for me to not think of him as Wolverine.
Yes.
But I think he's a music man. He's a musical star. So will you see this movie or are you out?
I probably am out.
All right.
Unless it comes to streaming for free.
Cody hates fun. Cody is against fun. Oh, all right. Let's talk about the Academy Awards, because you sent me this earlier this week and I have not stopped wigging out about it since. Like, this is crazy. Apparently, starting with the 98th Academy Awards, because they made a rule change, Cody. Starting with the next Academy Awards, Oscar voters must verify that they've watched all nominees in a category before their ballot will unlock for that category. So I'm going to say that in a different way, just to make sure we all get it. For the first time ever, voters for the Academy Awards, the top movie awards you can get, will now have to prove that they have watched all the movies nominated for a category before they can vote. So we haven't been doing that, but now we're going to. They haven't been.
That explains some of the award winners of the past.
How have they not been doing that? What has it just been, the honor system? Promise you've seen all the movies.
I'm just baffled. You have one job.
What's with all the Price Waterhouse? They act like it's national security.
Yes.
And yet these yahoos haven't even been having to watch all the movies?
Like, they could have been asking me to vote for them, and I would have watched them all.
Like, they should have, if you're going to be a voter for the Academy Awards, you should be someone that they knows what movies are about, how to make cinema, like Marty Scorsese, and they should have their own showings that you just have to show up to. Like, that's what I think. Forget this honor system at all. It's still kind of an honor system, because, like, you could go in there and just be on your phone the whole time. I don't know. The Academy Awards wants to cut down on what they call coattail voting, when people vote based on hype, name recognition, or just vibes. Vibes, Cody. The new policy aims to level the playing field, giving smaller, under-the-radar films a real shot instead of getting steamrolled by blockbusters with better press agents. Now, hold on a second. Name the last time blockbusters steamrolled at the Academy Awards. I don't remember this. When was the last time a blockbuster steamrolled?
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, but when was it not deserved, Cody? That movie was clearly one of the best movies of the year.
I feel like we'd have to go back to the early 90s.
Yeah, man. Like,
before Harvey changed how we vote for and what we appreciate for Academy Award winning movies.
Yeah. Similar rules already exist for categories like international feature, animation, and short films. They're just rolling it out for everything now. Why international film, animation, and short films? Why were those the only ones you were doing it on? Short films especially. Like, shouldn't you be able to watch all those in like a solid hour?
Theoretically, it should not take that much time. That, like, within the normal range for a film, you can watch all 5 or 6 nominees.
Yeah. This is interesting stuff, though. ASR, which stands for the Academy Screening Room, it says this is the tracking system. It will automatically log full watches. If you see a film elsewhere, you have to fill out a simple online form. Well, that sounds shady.
I'm not believing it.
The new rules only affect the final voting, not the nomination process. So example, if you're watching just the 10 Best Picture nominees in full, it makes a voter eligible to weigh in on 5 different categories. So, right, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they'd be able to nominate best, or they'd be able to watch Best Director, I suppose, because anything nominated for those other ones, I think, is automatically nominated for Best Picture. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, my first thought is, should we adapt this policy for fantasy football leagues? I mean, I don't want to make, rock the boat because your wife won last year, the Pop Culture Pastor Fantasy League, after not even showing up to the draft. You can't make waiver claims unless you actually watch the games. That's my rule.
Yeah.
You can't pick up a player.
My wife watches all the games, though.
Oh, does she?
Oh, yes, because we watch almost religiously on Sunday, like just football.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to think up a different rule to get her out. What? Did I say that out loud? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Leah. I'm just mad that Leah won. I'm just jealous. How long until voters start hosting Oscar cram sessions, like college kids pulling all-nighters?
Yeah.
You see, like, Tom Hanks is hosting a kegger at his house being like, hey, we got to watch all 5 of these movies. This is what we got left, y'all. We're pulling an all-nighter.
That doesn't even sound fun.
Of course not, because they're Academy Award nominated movies, which usually aren't the ones that are fun to watch. So, interesting news there. The Academy Awards. This might be the most interesting, Cody. Toys R Us, the once iconic toy retailer. You've heard of it.
I am very familiar with it.
I don't care how familiar with it. You're not ready for this next sentence.
So let me give the listeners a little insight into my familiarity.
Yes, please do.
They constantly had commercials on when I was a kid for Toys R Us.
With Jeffrey the Giraffe?
About not wanting to grow up because I am a Toys R Us kid. But then when I would actually get to go to a Toys R Us, usually inflation prices.
Oh my gosh.
Were abounding. And so rarely did I ever get anything from Toys R Us.
Imagine the only place for you to get video games is at the Walmart that's local to your town.
Yep.
Now imagine going into that Walmart and them never having like the new games. They're always sold out.
Yep.
Then you go to Toys R Us where they have every game ever made. And they're $30 more per game than anywhere else. Toys R Us was really a racket, man. That was a racket, dude. Anyways, the next sentence you're not ready for. Toys R Us is being developed into a live action movie by Story Kitchen, studio known for adapting video game IPs.
No, thank you.
Well, I didn't give you the pitch yet. You ready for the pitch?
No.
He's like, I'll pass. No. Let me give you the pitch, man.
Okay.
The concept is being pitched as a blend of Night at the Museum, Big, and Barbie, which is Hollywood speak, I think, for this is really going to be terrible. Terrible, bro.
Like, I feel that is generic 90s kids TV show concept because, like, that was a thing within several TV shows. Like, oh, I got locked into a toy store and shenanigans ensue, or it's haunted, or aliens.
And then the Scooby-Doo gang comes and, gets the hood off the monster and it's the owner of the store.
Yep.
Every time.
Also, they did it in Home Alone 2. We've already survived this.
Yeah. I love that everything now, by the way, that involves some sort of nostalgia, some sort of thing from the past, it's a cross between this and that and Barbie. That's the pitch. Everybody's trying to use the success of the Barbie movie, which, by the way, was incredibly clever and unique. Like, I think it's kind of insulting that really we've done this one time. We've made one movie based on an old toy that was successful and was good and really creative and imaginative. And now we're like, we're going to make this movie. It's going to be like a cross of Jaws and, Barbie. Wait, what?
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to sound good to me.
Yeah. Producers Dimitri M. Johnson and Mike Goldberg, both 80s kids like Cody, are leading the charge with Toys R Us Studios. They have their own studios, Cody.
What?
Yeah. Toys R Us Studios to bring adventure, creativity, and nostalgia to the big screen.
Did they not go bankrupt?
No, they came back.
Did they?
So, they got some influx of money, and then they reopened, and apparently someone big is behind this. Is it Trump? It's probably Trump. Is this a Trojan horse?
I'm baffled, perplexed,
bamboozled, run amok.
Yes, all the words. I honestly thought that they had gone under and were wherever Blockbuster is.
Okay, maybe this is the information you're looking for. After filing for bankruptcy in 2018, Toys R Us made a small comeback in 2021 through Macy's partnerships. Is Macy's doing well? Is that still a thing?
The one Macy's I was familiar with closed at the mall.
Now it's setting its sights on cinematic resurrection because, quote, if Barbie can make $1 billion, why not Jeffrey the Giraffe? Well, let me count the ways. Yeah, who you got a few minutes?
I like Jeffrey the Giraffe as much as the next guy, but maybe you should partner with Build-A-Bear and sell Jeffrey the Giraffe Build-A-Bears.
This sounds like at best a straight to streaming movie. First of all, I think you're mistaking that Toys R Us is as iconic as Barbie. That's not even close, man.
Barbie's going to cover so many different generations.
Yes.
I could have taken my great grandmother to go see the Barbie movie if she was still alive.
I don't know if there's another toy that's as iconic as that spans that much time. G.I. Joe might be close, but not near the popularity of Barbie. Only briefly in the 80s.
Hot Wheels is a little bit newer than Barbie. Not much.
It's closer.
A little bit.
That's closer.
Yes. And they have popular video games. Hot Wheels does. There is not a popular Toys R Us video game.
So are we getting an origin story for Jeffrey the Giraffe? And will it be gritty? Because everything's gritty. Or voiced by Chris Pratt. Because he's the voice of every animated thing now. Jeffrey the Giraffe, played by Chris Pratt. Who else is in this movie? Morgan Freeman.
Jack Black.
Jack Black appears in his physical form they said it was live action.
Yep.
So Jack Black, he's in this movie. I feel like Hollywood's just raiding the 80s right now for IP.
And you don't need to raid this.
And but they're getting so deep that they're just well, we've made G.I. Joe movies and a Barbie movie and Transformers. We've driven that into the ground. So why don't we just go straight to the thing that holds it all? This is going to be like toys coming alive and stuff, isn't it?
Yep.
Which this movie's been done. It's been done 1,000,000 times, Cody.
Yep.
What was the movie back in the day? The classic, Babes in Toyland. Isn't that the premise?
Essentially. But now it's store specific.
What stores actually deserve a movie more than Toys R Us?
Waffle House. I know it's a restaurant, but I would watch a Waffle House movie.
Waffle House, starring Brad Pitt. It'll be the worst 24 hours of your life. That's the tagline. Book it, make it, cut it. Brad Pitt's already signed on. Waffle House, the movie. That would be great. We should make more movies about malls. The heydays of the mall. The most interesting, I'll just say it. You know what the most interesting thing about Stranger Things season 2 is? The mall.
Yep.
That's the best part. That's the most nostalgic, best part. I don't know why I'm doing the Trump thing with my hands.
I don't either.
It's the best part, Cody. Everyone's saying it. It's the best part. So yeah, I don't know about this Toys R Us movie. What do you guys think? Do you think a Toys R Us movie could work?
What's next? Kmart?
Yeah, let us know. Kmart, the movie starring
Kristen Wiig would have to be in it.
Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell.
Yes.
That would be great. All right, we got a lot to get to, so we should just move on.
We should.
That's your funny news segment for this episode. Now we got a very special guest. We got an interview in studio.
This is the first time in a long time.
With a Twitch streamer. 19 years old.
It's the second time ever, but not 19-year-olds. That's probably the first.
Yeah, she's got more going in her life than I ever did.
Well, at least you're honest with yourself.
Yeah. We'll be right back. All right, Cody. It is a Pop Culture Lately episode, which means we're here to talk about what we've been into lately. I know that people have been dying to know what pop culture we've been imbibing with our free time.
Do we have free time?
No, we do not. I mean, a little. I was able to come up with some.
Me too. But there's definitely seasons where it's like, I don't know how I ever watched anything.
Yeah. So we talk mostly about movies and television on the pod. When I have free time, I find that I gravitate towards other things. I do have a show or two that I'll talk about with TV. I don't have any movies, though.
How dare you?
I haven't seen, look, I haven't seen any movies.
I recommended one today.
It's not about recommend. It's not that there aren't movies I want to see, Cody. It's just I don't have time to go see.
When I retell this story, he spits on every movie suggestion I give him.
I want to see Sinners by Ryan Coogler.
The Cougs.
It's not like I don't want to see it. It's not like it's a movie that everyone's raving about and I'm like, I'll pass. No, I want to see it.
Dave is a movie snob.
But I have a couple TV shows, but I actually have a couple books.
Me too.
That I want to talk about, and a couple musical things that I would like to talk about, but I'm going to let you go first. So without further ado, this is Cody's Pop Culture Lately. What have you been into, Cody?
I tried out a game recently called Avowed.
Oh, what's that? That sounds serious.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
No.
I tried it, so I went back to Skyrim. And I downloaded some new DLC for Skyrim, and I basically became Thor. I even have the hammer.
Did you not do the new Civilization game? Or is it not out yet?
It's out, but I don't have like $80 just to download Civilization.
Sid Meier, what are you doing?
Running inflation prices, that's what.
It's not even Sid Meier anymore. He's like retired. He bought his own island or something.
What?
No, just kidding.
Sid.
It's making all that Civilization game money.
That's the games for me. I'll jump to books.
Oh, what? You didn't want to talk about Avowed? What kind of game is it?
So you basically get to create what type of character you are, and then like you're trying to fulfill some prophecies, and you click on things and like attack them, and I don't like that style.
This game sounds terrible.
Especially when I describe it. If I don't like it, I don't put forth a lot of effort into it. It has to get me quickly. And Skyrim,
what do you like about Skyrim?
Oh my goodness. What don't I like about Skyrim?
So what kind of game is Skyrim? Is it like a role-playing game?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely you get to create your own character from like one of 3 different types, and then choose like what skill levels you go into, and there's all these guilds that you can join, and of course there's the main storyline where you're the Dragonborn, and dragons have started to reappear, and you don't know that you're the Dragonborn to start off with, but then you find out, and then also there's a civil war happening.
Sounds like my life.
It basically is. And
this is loosely based on me.
One side is kind of racist.
Oh, what?
And then the other side is fascist, and like we have outlawed this one specific religion out of the 9 divines, so now there's only 8, but in one part of the world there's still 9.
That doesn't even roll off the tongue the same.
I know.
The 8 divine sounds nowhere near as cool as the 9 divine.
Exactly.
Doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't. I don't know if there's a good side to be on.
This is like a Zelda kind of game. Like it has a story.
Oh yeah,
fantasy genre. You're working through it. It's not open world though. You're directed.
Oh, it is open world.
No, it is open world.
Yeah, there's so many side missions. Like you could play it for 300 hours and not come close to finishing it. So,
okay, that sounds fun.
Yes. And if you have Game Pass, it's on there, so you can give it a try.
Yeah, you play it on Xbox.
Yes. So books. I've been reading the Val Kilmer autobiography book.
What's one thing you learned about Val you didn't know before?
So we mentioned it on the podcast for the Legends episode about Val, but it was that he grew up next to Roy Rogers' home.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
And then Charles Manson's family was hanging out in that same neck of the woods. So
I don't think I said this on the pod. So, I mean, my memory's bad, so don't get mad at me if I did. But I think when you grow up next to Roy Rogers and members of the Manson family, you just are going to be a legend. That just happens.
I presume so. I did not grow up next to that. So
in all seriousness, do you think pockets of charisma is a thing? Like if you grow up around charismatic people, are you going to be charismatic?
I think it definitely helps that. From the sounds of his family growing up, there definitely was some unique personalities between mom and dad both. Also, I didn't know half the stuff about his dad, so it's a good read.
Cool.
Also, the second book is Where the Deer and the Antelope Play, the pastoral observations of one ignorant American who loves to walk outside.
That is a long title, sir.
By Nick Offerman.
Oh, Nick? Why?
Yes.
Why is he using a lyric from the Kansas State song? Or does he even acknowledge that?
It is a lot about America, consumerism, but also like taking care of the land, being a good steward, being agrarian in mindset and lifestyle.
Oh, so he's fully channeling Ron Swanson here.
Yes. It starts off with him and a couple of friends climbing and backpacking through one of the national forest parks, talking about like how the national forest parks began and some of the pros and the cons of the national forest park. But then the part I'm in right now, he's in England staying with a sheep farmer.
Nick Offerman, I just want to like hang out with Nick. He just like leads this life where it just seems like he's doing all these amazing things.
He owns his own wood shop.
Yeah.
In LA.
He's woodworking. He's hanging out at sheep farms. Oh, yeah, I got enough time to do this Emmy turn on a Last of Us season 1.
Yep.
You know how it goes.
That's my friend Nick. As far as TV series, Yellow Jackets season 3, which Dave hasn't watched season 2, so he can't watch season 3.
Cody's very upset about this. I enjoyed Yellow Jacket season 1. I'm ready. I'm going to watch Yellow Jacket season 2. I find I can only do like a show at a time.
I hear you. We of course finished our watch along of Severance. Severance is amazing.
Oh, my oldest daughter's watching Severance now, and she's like back in season 1, and I'll hear this and I'll turn and look at her, and she turns and looks at me with her mouth wide open, and I'm just like, you just wait. This is nothing.
You don't know.
Season 2 is going to knock your socks off.
Exactly.
She's like, they're really weird, huh? Is this like a cult? They're where we were in season 1. Is this a cult? I'm like, I don't know. Keep watching.
Maybe not. And then the show that my wife and I have just absolutely adored over the past couple weeks, we binge watched the whole 2 seasons that are out right now. Shrinking.
Okay. So just to set this up properly.
Yes.
Cody compared this show to Ted Lasso.
I did.
In quality. And like maybe saying it's better than Ted Lasso.
Yes.
So I'm going to give Cody the floor here. Tell me why this is one of the best shows of all time and better than Ted Lasso.
So it is from one of the co-creators of Ted Lasso, Bill Lawrence, who also created Scrubs. There is so many layers to this show, and it's such a roller coaster ride of all the emotions, and it might deal the best with grief I've ever seen a show deal with it. But with it being about a therapist who works with a couple other therapists, it probably should deal with it fairly well. But it shows that the main guy who is a therapist is struggling with grief. When you first meet him, he's not functioning. He's not living well. And it's almost a year after his wife has passed away. and he still is struggling, and he's not being a good father and not really being a great therapist. And so you get to see his journey. You get to see these high moments where he and his daughter are finally reconnecting. You get these heartbreaking moments. You get Roy Kent.
Roy Kent?
He's in the show.
He's everywhere. He's here. He's there.
He is. And then was the next door neighbor on Married with Children, what's his name? Ted?
Yeah. Ted McGinley? Ted McGinley?
So he is a next door neighbor in this show, and he is amazing.
I always said Ted McGinley, vastly underrated.
He is phenomenal in this. And then there's just so many faces, and Harrison Ford, I relearned that he actually is a phenomenal actor.
Never left, baby.
Indiana Jones had me questioning.
We blocked that out from our memory.
Tried to anyway. But yes, Shrinking. And there's moments where I'm like, oh, you can't do that as a therapist. But then there's moments where I'm like, I've been there. Or, wow, I'm going to try to steal that.
So it's pretty realistic then?
Yeah. And especially since it's a private practice. A small private practice owned by Harrison Ford's character. So
they're saying that new show with Noah Wyle, The Pit, is the most accurate representation of a medical drama ever.
It has been mentioned quite a few times to me.
But you have not watched any of that one?
No, not yet.
So we couldn't call definitively Shrinking the Pit of the therapist genre.
I couldn't, but maybe someone else.
This one,
can.
Shrinking, has better stars in it.
Oh,
anyone
yes.
else besides Jason Segel and Harrison Ford?
I mean, like I said, there's Roy Kent. There's the lady from SNL that's from Kansas City.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember her name either.
Heidi.
Oh, yeah. Heidi.
Yes.
I do remember that.
She's in it. Damon Wayans Jr., coach from New Girl. Mm-hmm. He's in it.
I love that that's the way you remember Damon Wayans Jr.
Not the son of Damon Wayans.
Not Damon Wayans. Yeah, you're right.
And then Krista Miller. I'm pretty sure that's her name. She was on the Drew Carey show. She was in Scrubs. She's Bill Lawrence's wife. Okay. Also was in Cougar Town.
Bill Lawrence. Look at this guy.
She's funny, and she does a good job in everything she's in. So there's just these random guest appearances.
When you told me that it was maybe better than Ted Lasso, at first I got angry. But then I was like, well, all right, same creators, Ted Lasso. And then Apple TV. Man, Apple TV, they're just putting out hits, man.
On the to-watch list is Silo.
Yeah, I want to watch Shrinking, and I do want to watch Silo as well. I just need to get to it.
Okay, so now movies, because I do watch movies.
Cody watches all the movies.
Just watch Sinners, not for the youth.
I figured. It's a vampire movie, right?
It is a vampire movie, but it definitely has something to say about culture, race. When you have a Ryan Coogler film, it usually operates on a couple different levels. And this one was phenomenal. I will say that it stars Michael B. Jordan, but I feel Michael B. Jordan does an amazing job, but he gets overshadowed by one of the supporting actors, and that is Miles Cadden, and he plays Sammy. This dude's voice, whoo, phenomenal singer.
Oh,
because
okay.
It's supposed to take place in, like, I don't remember, like, if it's the 30s, 20s, 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around there. Or he's the son of a preacher man. They call him Preacher Boy.
Why did you say that? Now that song is in my head, like literally is playing.
You're welcome. But
Billy Ray was a preacher. Okay, sorry.
He's a blues singer. And music plays a huge role in this movie. And you find out who the real vampires are.
Oh, okay. So this is just is this like a vampire story with Ryan Coogler sensibilities then? Or is it deeper than that?
Oh, it's much deeper than that. Much deeper.
Don't spoil it.
I won't. That's as much as you're going to get out of me. Companion, that one was a pretty good movie. I thought that it had given away too much in the trailer.
How can it give away too much in the trailer when I've never even seen the trailer?
Oh, you've seen the trailer.
Is this a real movie?
It is a real movie. Has Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher.
Oh, is this the one with the
robot girlfriend that she's like getting her hand burnt in the trailer?
Yeah, I don't know that one. I thought Jack Quaid, the one where he's
Novocaine?
can't feel pain.
Yeah, that's Novocaine.
Then I thought the movie with the little girl who wasn't a little girl. But that wasn't Jack Quaid.
Yeah, so
that was a streaming movie. Or a streaming series.
Sophie Thatcher is in Yellow Jackets, and she plays a robot.
I've never heard of this movie.
An AI robot that.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna dial it up while you're talking about it.
Yes. There's quite a few familiar faces, especially if you are a fan of What We Do in the Shadows. Guillermo is in it, and there's a lot of twists and turns. And you know that she is a robot, and then you learn that she learned she's a robot.
It's a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. How do I not know about this movie?
I don't know. It was great.
A weekend getaway at a remote cabin turns to chaos when it's revealed that one of the guests, a subservient android built for human companionship, has gone haywire. I'm impressed that this is well received, because this seems to be a trope already. The AI android that goes berserk.
So this one actually makes sense, and it's not just like, oh, willy-nilly.
That's crazy Megan slander.
Having seen Megan, Megan was okay. This was great.
This one was better.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's good
if
praise.
you're only watching one of them, I recommend this one.
All right.
I also watched The Monkey.
That was the horror movie?
The horror / dark comedy.
Yeah.
And it was great, but I know if you're just wanting pure horror and scary suspense, this isn't going to be your cup of tea.
Yeah, a lot of horror fans were not happy about this movie.
And I will say this has a lot to talk about with death, a lot to talk about with how especially men process feelings.
Tatiana Maslany was in this movie?
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And Eugene Levy's daughter.
I like how you know all the familial connections.
There's more than one royal family in Hollywood or Canada. And then my wife made me watch this weird movie, 1985, made for TV movie, 2-parter, Alice in Wonderland. And it has the most random people ever in it. Sammy Davis Jr. So it's a live action. Sammy Davis Jr. is a caterpillar. What? Scott Baio is like a helper bunny thing. I don't know.
So this was a made-for-TV movie.
Yes.
Carol Channing's in this.
Yes. Jonathan Winters was Humpty Dumpty.
Red Buttons. Red Buttons is in this.
I didn't know who Red Buttons was.
He was the White Rabbit in the movie.
I know.
Mr. Miyagi?
Yes.
Did you say Mr. Miyagi?
Not yet, because he's in... so there's a train scene with Mr. Miyagi and Patrick Duffy. They're on this train together.
This is like a fever dream. What? Sally Struthers, Sherman Hemsley...
Yep.
From the Jeffersons? They got like everybody who's anybody in the 80s in this.
Oh my goodness.
Donna Mills. She was on Knots Landing, I think. Wow. Bo Bridges. Look, I'm in the 4th row of the cast, and I'm reading names like Bo Bridges and Jonathan Winters and Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, Ernest was there.
Ringo Starr.
That was the weirdest thing.
Patrick Duffy is in the 5th row of the cast, and that is horrifying Patrick Duffy slander.
Especially since Scott Baio was a row ahead of him.
So was this movie worth watching? Even for just the fun of it? Was it fun?
I can't tell you how many times I looked back at Leah and was like, are you serious?
How old is your wife? Why would she want to watch this?
So her grandparents had recorded both parts, and whenever they would go to her grandparents' house, all the kids would watch this.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a family thing, and I'm like,
Yep.
Your family was watching some weird stuff.
Yeah. Everyone has that movie you watched when you went to your grandparents. What was yours?
So one set of grandparents, it was The Sound of Music.
Okay.
And then the other one was primarily The Wizard of Oz.
There you go. Yeah. My grandmother had several things she had on VCR tapes. And I remember the movie I watched when I always went over there was The Last Starfighter.
Nice.
She had recorded that one, and yeah, that one was awesome. I loved The Last Starfighter. And for whatever reason, I didn't have it. My grandma did.
If we weren't watching The Wizard of Oz, it was like one of like 30 Elvis Presley movies.
All right. Do you have anything else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Cody, we have a special guest. We're going to be live in the studio with a young Twitch gamer, a Twitch gamer, game streamer. I'm so old, I don't even know what to call her.
Someone on Twitch.
We'll be right back. All right, Cody, we are here live in studio
We are.
with a special guest.
For once in our lives.
For once in our lives. Who's that, Barry White?
Yes.
I wish I sounded like Barry White.
You don't.
I know, not at all, not even close. Why don't you tell everyone who you are? I suppose we didn't even, you're going to get a live look into podcasting right here. I didn't even give you a heads up on the microphone. So straighten the microphone, get it right in front of your mouth there. So It's pointing right at you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need it because you do tell everyone what you do.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Carley Cowen. I do a little bit of Twitch streaming when I'm not working or in college. Basically just do all of that and play games, hang out with people, and spread the word when I can.
Yeah. So you're a gamer.
Yes.
And you do Twitch streaming. How does one get into that? Is that did you just decide you were going to do that? Are you good at this? I don't mean this in an insulting way because I just really don't know anything about this. What order does this happen? Do you find out you're really good at gaming and you're like, boy, I should be a gaming streamer? Or is it about personality? Or is it all of that? Do some people want to watch certain things?
Yeah, so it's kind of a mixture of everything. From my experience and how I'm doing things, I just got into gaming, met some friends. One of them was a streamer and was like, hey, you have a PC now, you should stream. And so I kind of got into that. And a lot of people like my personality because I'm outgoing and very expressionistic and stuff like that. And so everyone was like, yeah, you're doing great. You should keep going with it. And so far, I think everything's going pretty good. People are enjoying stream and recommend games that I should buy and play that they like, and I've been enjoying that.
What are your games? What are the ones you like?
My games. I'm a big Elden Ring nerd. My friend Ben actually got me into it, and I've been playing that with them for a few months now, and there's another game called Valorant, which is a 5-person shooter game, kind of like CSGO, if you have any idea of what that is. And yeah, I
don't, by the way.
I was going to say, this is not Dave's alley.
Yeah. It's basically, you've got 5 people on each team, and there's a spike or a bomb that you have to defuse or whatever. And you go back and forth, you switch sides, do that. And whoever reaches, I think it's 12 games or rounds won, wins the game. So yeah, that's basically my forte. I've been playing that for 3 or 4 years now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if I could go back in time, if it hits me at the right time of life, I would have enjoyed being a streamer. Mm-hmm. And I think I would have had the personality for it, not the gaming. People would have tuned into me just to see someone fail spectacularly and break the occasional controller.
Yeah.
I think if things were the way they are right now, I could have been like big in esports.
Okay.
Especially
what games,
with
Cody?
Smash Brothers.
Ooh.
Now, is there skill to that? Because
Yes.
when I'm watching people play, it looks like people are just mashing buttons.
If you are using Ness and you are wiping the floor with people, you are skilled.
Okay. All right.
If you are Falcon punching everyone every 2 seconds, you're probably just button mashing. So, but it is fun to do
Does
that.
Falcon punching everyone occasionally work, though?
It does.
So how old are you, Carly?
I'm 19, about to be 20.
Okay, so how do you balance the other things of being 19? Do you taking college courses? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm taking college courses out here, and
Neosho County Community College.
Yes.
Let's shout them out. Go ahead and
Yes.
shout them out.
NCCC is a great college. I'm loving it there. I'm going to be done next spring, finally. So, yeah, doing that, and then I have a part-time job at the bank out here,
Nice.
and so it's
So
great.
we're not making a living just on streaming yet.
No, not yet. I wish and I hope that I can get to that point because I really enjoy streaming, hanging
Yeah.
out with my friends all the time.
Is that so for you? Like I don't know where you're at right now.
I'm pretty small right now,
Yeah.
but I have pretty consistent viewership right now.
Yeah, that's better than us.
Ouch.
Literally tens of no, but like I assume so. Most people assume this is what I tell people about podcasting, and I assume this lines up with content creation and streaming.
Yeah.
It's that people assume that you just have that one lucky break and you go viral, and then you have all this. That's a bad assumption.
Yeah.
I tell people that actually what it is usually a lot of these people you see. We just had Snacks with Zach on. He's an influencer.
Snack with Zach.
Snack with Zach. Okay, sorry. Gosh, I like Snacks with Zach. Just rolls off the tongue better. But it's Snack with Zach. We just had him on, and he's got 1 million followers over all social media platforms.
Yeah.
But he's been doing it since he was like 13. So he built that up. I think most people don't understand how much work it takes of being faithful, consistent, steady. And so, yeah, I mean, I think you just got to find your people, the people that want to follow you. And so, yeah, I think that you could be, who is the big gamer? Ninja?
Not so much. He's still pretty big, but I think Queso is
Queso?
right now. Yeah.
I have heard Queso's name so much this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
He is.
Is he
For
the
real.
Minecraft? Is he a Minecraft guy?
He's a variety of
Yes.
different things.
Okay. Yeah, my kids watch a lot of the Minecraft. They watched the guy that died.
Technoblade.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of Technoblade. Minecraft was something that I first started streaming because I started out on my little PS4 streaming. But yeah, I would watch him every day and Stampy Cat and stuff like that, and had a lot of fun and was like, I should try it.
So these are like, so you got like your inspirations, you know, who you grew up watching.
Yeah.
What is do you have a moment so far that's your most memorable for streaming so far? Like, what was your most exciting, memorable moment?
Probably hitting affiliate on Twitch. You have to meet some guidelines before you can start either taking like payouts from Twitch. And it's a really small, well, most people would say it's small. You have to hit 50 followers, but it's really hard to reach that mark.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a certain amount of consistent viewers to maintain that for a certain amount of time. And I think when I finally hit it, I think I cried because I was so happy. And the next stream I came back and everyone was like, you finally did it. And I was like, yes, I'm so happy. And I think that was my big moment.
That's really cool. So like Twitch is the one, is that one's the one connected to Amazon where if you have like an Amazon Prime account, you can literally
Gift subs,
gift subs,
Yeah.
which is an important thing because I hear people on some of the streams I watch from time to time talk about that.
Yeah.
So if you have an Amazon Prime, you know, we're going to give you her Twitch ID, so but you're going to have to wait till the end for it. Let's see. Do you ever have to deal with toxic behavior? Is there toxic behavior sometimes?
Yes.
And then how? How do you deal with that?
Yeah. So in chat sometimes, you always get people who like to start things. And I on and off use my face cam or like a little VTuber, which is like a little PNG of who I want to represent me. And there are some people that apparently have nothing better to do and will just come in and start saying hateful things. And there were some occasions that, like especially in school, where I would have comments thrown at me. And so I'm kind of a person that absorbs it. I don't take it to heart. But other people could be affected by it. And so I always say something about it. But definitely in chat, not so much. When I'm playing Valorant or Call of Duty, stuff like that is always thrown out, and you just don't take it to heart because people are super competitive. And
Okay.
Yeah, so I just kind of treat it with kindness, and it kind of throws them for a loop, and most of the time it works. So
Yeah. You have to do that too when I'm playing PUBG.
Oh.
Sometimes people say things, it's not cool. That's not kind. Also, you were pushing when you didn't have to push.
Yeah.
Marvel Snap, I will hit snap to taunt every time.
Cody is a taunter.
I am.
Cody is living his other life through gaming, where he taunts people. Because Cody's like the least taunting, least toxic person I know.
But then Skyrim, I will become a member of the Dark Brotherhood, and I am one of the most elite assassins out there. So, while being the Dragonborn,
So this is a Pop Culture Lately episode. So we thought, okay, we'll bring you on. We wanted to talk a little bit about that. We'll come back to that too. But what pop culture have you been into lately?
Ooh,
like what do you stream TV wise? Movies? Have you seen any good movies lately?
Ooh, yes. Okay, so TV, I kind of do TV/anime because I don't watch a lot of TV, but I watch a lot of anime shows.
You're an anime person.
Yes.
So what anime are you into? Because this is where you're really getting outside of our particular range.
Yes. So there's one that I just finished. Well, quote unquote finished. There's supposed to be another season of it coming out soon, but it's Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's one of my, I think it's in my top 3, right under like Attack on Titan and Tokyo Ghoul. They're really, really good. Something about it, I just like action, and all 3 of those are just full of action-packed stuff, and it's a certain taste for people, but I think once they get into it or start watching a couple of the episodes, they're really grasped into it. So
yeah, that's good. I always my kids are watching My Hero Academia.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't quite watched that one yet, but I've been told it's really, really good.
Yeah. Whenever people bring up anime, I'm just like, I really liked the One Piece live action on Netflix. That's the extent of my foray.
Yeah.
Also, I really liked Voltron when I was a kid.
Ooh.
And Voltron, I think, is like a ancestor.
Sailor Moon?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that is. I know what that is.
I was going to say, it was in a BNL song.
BNL?
Bare Naked Ladies?
Oh, okay. I don't know why you wouldn't just say Bare Naked Ladies.
Because fans of BNL go with the abbreviation.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not cool.
It's like Dave Matthews Band, people just saying Dave.
Yes. Nobody would ever just call Dave Matthews Dave. That's only for the insiders. All right, Carly, what else? Have you seen any good movies? Do you read?
Yes.
I know not everyone's a reader, so.
Yeah, I'm a huge book nerd. One of them that I'm kind of reading a series right now. It's called Fourth Wing. Action-packed fantasy, like dragons fighting, whatever. It's really cool. I also just reread Hunger Games and Maze Runner.
Oh, okay.
They're classics. I love them.
Books better than the movies on those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little different. Sometimes Sometimes people have differing opinions
That
on
first Hunger Games book, Chef's Kiss.
Yes.
That first Hunger Games movie, gross.
Yes.
Sorry.
This is a sore spot with Cody.
Those are definitely my 3 favorites right now of series. And then I recently watched Deadpool and Wolverine again. Super good. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those movies I think I could watch over and over and over again and not get tired of it. But I'm just a huge fan of like Marvel, DC, all of that. So
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. I feel like there's the Marvel fandom, especially. You've got like, it's divided into 3. You've got like the old school comic book geeks like me, who are in a weird place right now. We're kind of a mixed bag. Then you have the younger comic book people and the people that are interested in that sort of thing, the MCU Marvel.
Yeah.
And they just like all of it. And then there's another group who pretends they're into it, but just does it to get into political arguments and, and say toxic things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a part of that first group where they're doing some things I don't like, and I'm vaguely aware that I'm teetering on this tightrope of real critique and grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Because if some people like it, I'm like, all right. Well, it's like Daredevil, the new Daredevil show, which I don't know if you watched.
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list to watch.
Yeah, that's one of those shows where I'm unsure whether, because I hear a lot of people like it, I hear a lot of people didn't like it, and I'm not sure whether I'm critiquing it or if I'm just grumpy old manning it.
There's nothing wrong with grumpy old manning it.
Thank you.
If the grumpy old men and grumpier old men had taught me anything, it's okay to be grumpy and old.
There you go. Okay, so here's a fun question. We're going to have a fun question, then we'll get back to your streaming thing.
Okay.
What game universe would you want to live in?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
And why?
Okay. I don't think I would want to be in Call of Duty or Valorant. I feel like that would just be a lot of pain constantly.
Seems like the first person shooter games would not be fun.
Yeah.
No.
I've never played the Elden
Ring.
The Elden Rings. That seems like any of the fantasy genres seems like
Yeah.
it would be nice.
I wouldn't mind being in Elden Ring. There's a lot of different bosses or whatever that you have to fight, but it is so beautiful and the game is just wonderfully made. I really think that I would enjoy my time if I was stuck in Elden Ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And bosses, speaking of which, have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
I have. I just watched it not too long ago.
We did our last episode on that, the Be Kind Rewind, so you should go check that out.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Okay. If you were going to offer one piece of advice for people that want to get into game streaming, and what would it be? And also, what would it be for females?
Okay. Don't get discouraged when you're sitting there and you know there's no one in there and you're just talking to yourself and you don't think that there's anyone, but there's always people looking through the previews at smaller streamers. I know that was a big thing for me. I would get discouraged that there wasn't anyone in the viewer count, and I eventually just turned it off. It's like there might be someone in here that's just not talking, or there might not, but I want to talk like there is people there. So it also just helps your mental when you're streaming a lot, because a lot of people get super discouraged and they're like, I don't think I'm going to do it anymore because no one's interested in what I'm playing. So just play what you want, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. There's going to be people that come in that do like it, and that's what you want to build your fan base around, that people that have the same likes as you. And so I think that's what it is. And then I'd say for girls who want to stream, don't let hateful comments drag you down. I know that was a big thing at the beginning of my streaming, where people were like, oh, you're a girl, you're not going to make it very far. But
here you are.
Yeah.
I'm
having fun.
Saw data recently that 44% of gamers are girls, and the number's growing. So what used to be heavily considered a male-dominant genre is no longer the case.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Also, everything you said about feeling like you're talking to nobody, that's very a radio thing too.
Yeah.
Because you're in this room that we're recording in right now, and you're talking over the air on the radio. It's like you can't see anyone. You're alone, so often your brain will be like, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
But the whole viral world, the culture we live in about just, I got to go viral.
Yeah.
It kind of tricked us into thinking that impacting one person was no big deal.
Yeah.
When actually it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
All those people arguing online about politics, like name one time you change someone's mind by arguing online.
Yeah.
It never happens.
No.
All the time, Dave.
So to impact one person is a big deal. It's a big deal. Carley, tell everyone what your channel is, where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitch at Itzkansas with a Z, and we're live as much as I can, as much as college and work life will allow me. I'm there usually around 5:30 p.m.
Okay. And tell people what they're going to get out of your channel.
You're going to get a loving community, open to everyone, except people who want to start stuff that's not okay.
Then they get kicked.
No.
They get kicking.
We try to let everyone come in and have an open mind about everything. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Carley Cowen, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, we're back, Cody.
We are.
We just got done talking to Carley, who is a game streamer.
That's what we're going with.
I was afraid to ask her how many followers she has because I was afraid it'd be more than we do.
There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition once in a while.
Not at all. I just didn't want to feel the way I was going to feel. That was all about me.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Pop Culture Lately episode. We're talking about the pop culture that we've been into lately. And I have no movies because the only movies I've seen recently are the ones that I watch for the pod.
Jumanji.
Not Jumanji, unfortunately. Like which one? The real one with Robin Williams, or the set of new ones that I don't speak of?
Any of them?
Yeah, I haven't watched those anyways. None of them. I haven't watched any of them. Okay, let's start with TV because I didn't watch any movies.
How dare you?
I have been watching something recently, Cody, that I'm really kind of stoked about. It's called Paradise on Hulu. And if you haven't checked it out yet, trust me, you should. It's one of those shows that immediately grabs your attention and doesn't let go. I'm hooked on it. I'm almost done with the first season. I've got a couple episodes left, but basically what you need to know is Paradise is about a guy named Xavier Collins. He's played by the incredible Sterling K. Brown. And
that's a big deal.
Yeah. So it's done by Dan Fogelberg, the guy that did This Is Us.
Oh,
the showrunner of This Is Us. Why do you say it like that?
Everyone, their mom talked about that show.
Well, it's a good show.
I'll trust you.
Yeah. That's why Sterling K. Brown's in it, I assume, because he was in that with him. But Sterling K. Brown is, I believe, this dude's a movie star, like even bigger movie star waiting to happen. I think this guy's a Academy Award winning level talent. Anyways, he's great in this. He's a Secret Service agent. He's assigned to protect the president, who's played by James Marsden, our friend James Marsden.
Jimmy has moved up in the world.
Yeah. And let's just say things take a wild turn pretty quickly because the whole episode is built on the premise of the president is assassinated. And that's not a spoiler. It happens early on in the pilot.
What?
But that's just where the starting point jumps out. Now, the show does an amazing job of kind of blending this political thriller vibe with an emotional undercurrent, but it's like a mystery wrapped in this drama. There's this thing kind of behind it, and all I can really tell you, because I don't want to spoil it, even the pilot episode something happens at the end of the pilot episode that totally readjusts the show you think you were about to watch.
Okay, my guess is they wake up and discover they're on the island that Lost takes place.
No, but it is that level of readjustment of the narrative. Because what you think you're watching is a procedural, right? You think, oh, okay, I know what I'm watching. This guy's a Secret Service agent. He's going to be an investigator for what has happened to the president. But something happens again. It's more along the lines of you find out the audience is let in on a piece of information at the end of the pilot episode that totally reframes how the story's going to go. And if you love shows that have you thinking about it long after you hit stop, then Paradise is a must watch. It's a great show. It's got that perfect mix of suspense. You care about the characters. It's got some depth. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Curious to hear your thoughts.
Will do.
Especially, I would love to hear your thoughts just after watching the pilot episode. The pilot episode has one of the best twists in a pilot episode maybe ever. Because usually a pilot episode's all about setting the stage for the show. And this one does that in a very just wild sort of way. I watched Daredevil Born Again.
I'm glad you did, because I have not.
Now, there's a lot of talk about this one out there. And it's a bit of a mixed bag out there. There's people love it. There's people that hate it. And it's a bit of a mixed bag for me too. Because on one hand, the storytelling is wildly uneven at times. And that makes sense. We've talked about it here on the pod. They wrote it, they shot it, and then decided they wanted to go a different direction. They kept some of the old stuff. Now it's wildly varies depending on what you believe, how much of the old one they kept and the new one they put it forth. But you could just tell, in my opinion, you could just tell, you could see the seams in it. And in a lot of ways, it represents like kind of the ongoing struggle that Marvel had in Phase 4, where they just didn't know what to do. And they're doing a lot of rewrites. They're trying too hard to satisfy some faction of the fans.
So yeah, I have seen reviews come out all over the place. Geek of the Round Table, Scotty Walker really loves it. Cried at times because it was so moving. And then I've seen people online that I trust that are like, this is trash. The MCU's done. And I'm like, that might be a bit of an overreaction, but they might be closer to the edge than I think they are.
I do think there's an element right now with the MCU, with Marvel in general, where people are trying to make hay off of that. They're trying to be the ones who, it's clickbait, rage bait, you know. Marvel's done. Click on my YouTube video to find out why, you know. Like, I do think there's an element of that out there right now. But to be fair, Marvel's kind of brought it on themselves. They've put out subpar by their standards, I'm sure. Subpar entertainment, especially in the Disney Plus arena. Like, that's where I think you should judge this TV show. It's hard not to judge it against the Netflix counterparts. But if you judge this by Disney Plus standards, you're going to see some good things in this too, because even though the pacing can be a bit off, there are moments in each episode that were really, really good. And the crazy thing is like, there's not a lot of him in the suit at times. And some of the best moments of the entire season are dialogue. But like, it's these actors who are bouncing off each other in the scene that make it so good. So despite its flaws, the show does really stand above most of the Marvel TV content we've seen in recent years. It's gritty. It is raw.
Shocking Loki slander.
I mean, Loki season 2 was probably better than this. It was pretty good.
Shocking WandaVision slander.
That's not recent, man.
That's recent.
I said recent. Miss Marvel is recent.
I only watched one episode, so.
And the performances, what's good about it is the performances. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, he's still kind of the heart and soul of the show. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is chilling in that Vincent D'Onofrio sort of way. That he's really the only actor that can kind of pull that vibe off, in my opinion. Like maybe like a younger De Niro did, where he could just be this kind of unnerving level of chilling.
Him and Heat. Yeah.
And their chemistry together is great. And they bring a depth to their characters just truly compelling. You get two or three episodes maybe with the Punisher in it, John Bernthal, and of course he's amazing. He's fantastic in that role. And you end up just wanting more. So while Daredevil Born Again isn't perfect, it is solid. It's worth a watch if you're an MCU fan or a fan of the character. Just you got to set your expectations right.
I have felt my expectations aren't low enough yet, so I will wait a little while longer.
It's probably a good idea. I've got some books that I've read or listened to recently. I went back and listened to the audiobook of Brain Droppings by George Carlin. And full disclosure, I was a huge George Carlin guy, and I still love George Carlin. I think he was brilliant. If you haven't read it, it's his first book that he ever put out, and it's pure Carlin. It's one of the funniest while being super insightful, just like George Carlin was, because he's not just a comedian, he's super intelligent, and he's just got a knack for understanding and seeing the human condition. And his ability to mix that humor with the social commentary, I believe, is just unmatched. I think Chappelle at times can come close to it, but Carlin stands alone. Whether, in the book, whether he's riffing on language or politics or just kind of the absurdities of daily life or things we have in common, he had this way of just cutting through the nonsense and getting right to the point, and making you think while making you laugh.
That is a difficult task.
Yeah. And what makes it so good, Brain Droppings in particular, is it's his first book. So like he wrote a couple books after this, and I read those too. And I felt like this one was always the first one because it just has like this 100% pure George Carlin, where he was he called it Brain Droppings, and that's legit what it is. Because some of them are just little thoughts. He's got little chapters of little thoughts. Some of them are chapters and the whole thing's about one thought. He's fearless. He has unapologetic honesty. He takes on topics that most people tiptoed around. It makes you feel like he could tell the future, because there are things he talks about and you're like, wow, that's actually happened. And back then it was a joke. He was joking. But that happens at least a few times in the book. It's not just a funny book. It's a call to look at the world through his lens, a different lens, and to laugh at things that would normally make us cringe, which we've kind of lost the ability to do as well, Cody.
Yeah, and it might be for our detriment.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't laugh at ourselves anymore, and George Carlin was one of the best at that. Also, the audiobook, if you get a chance to listen to it, it's incredible because Carlin narrated it himself, and hearing his voice brought these thoughts to life. And of course has this level of authenticity, hearing Carlin, and it's like him in his prime. He's just talking to you, no filters, no fluff. So if you're looking at a book that'll make you laugh and kind of challenge your thinking a little bit, maybe even change how you see the world, then Brain Droppings is a must if you haven't checked it out before. The other book I listened to recently, it's called The End Is Always Near by Dan Carlin. You heard of Dan Carlin?
I have.
Yeah. It is, if you're a fan of history, The End Is Always Near isn't just about dates and events, but he makes you feel the weight of these moments. He's known for a podcast, maybe the podcast. It's called Hardcore History. And he still does some things with it. But about 10 years ago, him and Rogan were like neck and neck with these podcasts. His podcast, Hardcore History, was so big. And he was doing like 4-hour episodes.
I don't have time for that.
Oh, trust me, if you heard one and yet it was a subject that was the right sweet spot for you, he did them on the Roman Empire, on all sorts of things. If you found the right one, it's just storytelling at its best. He just has a knack for it. But in this book, The End is Always Near, he dives into apocalyptic moments throughout history. Humans need to make themselves feel like you're always near the end. But a lot of times they were right. The collapse of the Bronze Age, nuclear near misses of the 20th century is a chapter he talks about. He sort of examines in this book how civilizations teetered on the brink of collapse. But it's not just about the past. He also challenges people to reflect on the present and the future. And what I love about the book is Dan's ability to weave the narrative that he's trying to tell, the story he's telling, with the analysis of, he likes to say on his pod that he's not a historian. If he's not a historian, I don't know who is.
No one.
He doesn't just tell you what happens. He makes you think about why it matters. It's engaging. It's thought-provoking. Sometimes it's even unsettling. It's a reminder that history isn't just a series of events. It's a collection of stories that shape who we are and where we're headed. If you're looking for a book that combines some deep historical insight with really compelling storytelling, then The End is Always Near. I think it's a must read. You should check it out. The End is Always Near by Dan Carlin. Also, I've been listening a lot to James Earl Jones reads the King James Version Bible.
That sounds delightful.
Because if you're going to have James Earl Jones read it to you, you better do it in the King James. There's nothing quite as cool as hearing James Earl Jones speak to you and be like, thee and thine. It's good stuff. Do you ever listen to any audio Bible?
So I did have James Earl Jones reads the King James Version to you on my iPod back in the day. But the iPod did not withstand the test of time.
I feel like I'm back in the Middle Ages and some wise monk is reading me the Bible stories.
Yes. I mean, the Bible app has an auditory feature, but it's not the same.
No. Yeah, you can't compare it to James Earl Jones reading you that. Every time I listen to it, I always have to go back and restart whatever I listen to because I'm so taken aback by how awesome James Earl Jones sounds. I'm not paying attention to what he's saying. I'm just like, oh, listen to the sound of James Earl Jones's voice. Oh, I've listened for 30 seconds and I have no idea what he said. Let's go back.
Exactly.
Music. I've been listening a lot to the Eagle Rock Gospel Singers. You familiar?
No.
They're a band that's truly captured my heart, Cody. If you haven't heard of them, you're in for a treat. I know with the sound, like if I just played them for you and you knew they were called the Eagle Rock Gospel Singers, you'd be surprised to know they're from Los Angeles. But they're a Los Angeles-based collective of music artists, because that's the other thing is when you see them, they look like a mishmash of people, and they kind of are, because they blend this kind of soulful vibe of gospel with the raw authenticity of Americana music, like folk. And it creates this sound that's just really cool. It's unlike things you can listen to anywhere else. And I swear you could just feel it. You can feel it when you listen to music like that. And one of the cool things about their style is they infuse all these elements, right? They've got blues, they've got folk, indie rock. They're crafting these songs together. There's several of them. They don't really have a lead vocalist, so there's different vocalists from track to track at times. And it started with them just getting together and singing. They were just a bunch of friends who like to sing together. That's how their band started. That's how this podcast started. That's absolutely right. We're like the Eagle Rock Gospel Singers of podcasting. They're a living testament to like the same thing we do. They're about community and collaboration. And what started as a group of friends coming together to sing blossomed into this band that brings people together through the universal language of love. No, music.
And love.
And love. Oh, yeah. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about before we move on. Should we have a pop culture pastor Spotify list? Would that be worth us doing? Would anybody want that?
I think that there definitely is a niche for that.
Yeah. When I was thinking about this, I started thinking, oh, maybe we should have a pop culture pastor Spotify list. But here's the question. We need your help with this. So like, if we were going to do a list, what would be the theme? What would it be, like a variety of music, of different kinds of music, or would it be focused?
And would you want a Dave list and a Cody list?
Would it be, look, Cody's already worried about the songs I'd pick. He's like, we better keep this separate. You know, I don't want anyone to mistake that I picked Dave's songs.
Dave will be the one wishing that this was separate.
Would you want the list to change, or should it be set? I really want their feedback for this. Nobody's going to give us feedback, and that'll be the answer. Be like, well, nobody cares.
Everyone cares.
Everyone cares. So, yeah, if you think there should be a pop culture pastor Spotify playlist, let us know.
All Radiohead all the time.
Cody, do you know what time it is?
Hammer time.
It's not hammer time, but it is time to go to the Geek Phone!
The Geek Phone.
Cody, now live on the Geek Phone. Listener David from Florida. David, where from Florida are you from?
I am from Winter Garden, which is just outside of Orlando.
Oh, nice.
Do you go to Disney World a lot?
We do go there. We're hoping to go in June because my daughter has her 3rd birthday and she loves Minnie Mouse. So.
Oh, that's nice. So David Allen from Winter Park, and he's been on the show one time, other time before. When we had our 100th episode, we had a whole mess of people on.
I vaguely remember that episode.
Yeah. And so for this episode, for our Pop Culture Lately episodes, which we do roughly twice a year?
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, where we just kind of talk about what we've been into lately that we really haven't talked about on the pod, because the pod's very specialized. We talk about one thing here, one thing there, you know. And so we wanted to have on someone who was like specialized in something. We had Carley on first, and she was a Twitch streamer.
Yes.
Doing things that make me feel old.
As you should.
And we figured we should have a listener on as well. But I think I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna elevate him.
Oh,
David, I dub thee a geek of the round table, full-fledged member of Geek of the Round Table. I'll send you a bumper sticker.
Awesome, fantastic. This is a great honor, and I do not take it lightly.
Dave Rimbolt was actually doing the night gesture motions. You just can't see it.
Yeah. It's because I do things even though this isn't a visual medium.
Yep.
Yeah, but I dub thee. David, what pop culture are you into lately?
I have been watching I just finished with my wife watching the entire run of CSI Miami.
Oh, whoa, Horatio?
We love Horatio Kane.
I mean, who doesn't?
I own a pair of sunglasses just so I can pull a Horatio.
Looks like he really lost his head.
Horatio's dad jokes while putting the sunglasses on at the beginning of every episode is like the stuff of legend, man.
Yeah. My parents were really into that. And around the time my kids were little, and they would babysit my kids, and we'd come to pick up our children, and my stepdad would be in there watching CSI Miami, and they'd be looking at a body in the trunk, and my 4-year-old daughter's sitting there, and I'm like, hey, man, come on, bro. But you and your wife just watch it.
Yeah, I think 2 days ago we watched the series finale.
Now, how many seasons of that were there?
It went 9.
9 seasons.
And no movie?
So what was that guy's name? The guy that played Horatio?
That was a David Caruso.
That's right.
Like a criminal procedural legend. He's done quite a few of them.
Yeah, he was on, the first thing I remember him on was NYPD Blue. Was that what he was on? Well, that's not the first thing. The first thing I remember him on, even though I didn't know who I was looking at, is First Blood, the first Rambo movie. He's like a young deputy in that movie. He buys it hard. Sylvester Stallone kills him gnarly. Okay, so you're CSI Miami. Why do you like that show? What's your favorite part about the show besides David Caruso?
Besides David Caruso, who the legend, we found ourselves caring a lot about the characters. Kelly Duquesne, Eric Zelko, Tim Speedle, who, spoiler alert, was killed at the beginning end of the first season, and it was very sad.
No. I'm sorry. It's probably been a while since I don't even know who that is.
We enjoy the characters. We enjoy the dynamics. We enjoy the we enjoy the process of crime scene investigation. We find it fascinating. And then we say, it's nothing like this in real life. Said, yeah, but I don't care.
I love that, by the way. There's some people I know several people who are like in the medical field, and when ER was on or House, they'd be like, this would never happen. And like, we don't care. Let us have our fantasy.
It's lupus.
Just let me have this one thing.
Yeah, just this one thing. Is David Caruso doing anything now?
He's retired.
Is he retired?
He's pretty old now. So yeah, he's up there. So,
all right. What else? What else he into?
It's interesting because it kind of ties into the fact that I'm going to watch WrestleMania tonight. But we've also been watching the Travel Channel reality series Man vs. Food, which I've always loved. I always thought it was a cool concept. And why I say it ties into me watching WrestleMania tonight, because we watched an episode recently where he was in Niagara Falls. And one of the restaurants that he went to was famous for a restaurant they called the Haystack. And the Haystack is this just massive, like foot-long sandwich with a base of seasoned steak and then a ton of melted mozzarella and then fried shoestring potatoes all on the top.
Would. Totally would.
I was telling that to my wife, we're having that for WrestleMania. And she said, okay. So we're gonna have that tonight, and I'm very excited.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Man vs. Food is hosted by a guy named Adam Richman. He goes from city to city throughout the country and, sampling some of the best dishes from popular restaurants that the locals in those cities enjoy. And then at the end of the episode, he takes some kind of a challenge, some kind of a food challenge that's local to that area, whether it be like a quantity challenge where he has to eat a 72-ounce steak or a 5-pound omelet or something to that effect, or something that may be a spice-based challenge, like he has to eat 12 of the spiciest wings that's ever been made in the world, or something along those lines. We just think it's really cool, and my oldest son has gotten into it too, and it's been a lot of fun to watch that with him because he's just like, 72-ounce steak, yeah, I could eat that. I'm like, you're 7, but okay.
I imagine between Adam Richman and myself, the context of the title Man versus Food changes quite a bit. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I don't want to know, but I think I know.
So WrestleMania, as we're recording this, WrestleMania is tonight and tomorrow night.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, we're having to record this early because I'm gonna be out of town next week. And so we're recording earlier we normally do. Do you have any picks for wrestling? Like, do you have expert picks?
It's I am in a wrestling group, and we do predictions for all these events.
That's the thing.
We do predictions as a competition for these events in this Facebook group, and so I do have predictions on a point scale that I assign to my predictions to how confident I am that they're going to win. And I am pretty sure that John Cena is going to beat Cody Rhodes in the main event tomorrow night.
Hope so.
WWE champion. In case I didn't know, John Cena turned heel a couple months back which is a big deal for him because he hasn't been a bad guy in like 20 years. I think he's going to win that and go on a reign of terror through the summer as a bad guy champ. And I think that's very compelling. And I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes because John Cena's a legend. And this is his final year as a professional wrestler, and he's hanging it up. And very, very excited to see how the remainder of his final year goes, especially now that he's a bad guy.
It is compelling for some reason. I look back pretty fondly, as you know, David, on the WCW NWO era when Hulk Hogan first turned heel.
Became Hollywood.
Yeah, and that was obviously very compelling to people back then. There is something compelling about a good guy turning bad, but I will say this, there is a shelf life on it. The NWO was cool for a limited amount of time, and then they, as wrestling does sometimes, completely pounded it into the ground.
A lot of it was that just adding too many members to that group was probably 4 or 5 was sufficient. And by the time they needed 2 limousines full of people to get every single person in the group there, it was like, this might be jumping the shark a bit here, guys.
It was pretty funny when they had the two factions, and one of the factions was clearly not as cool.
They had 3 factions at one point. If you count the LWO.
We do not count the LWO. They were their own faction.
They were definitely a spin-off.
All right, David, anything else you've been into recently?
Yeah, I just recently played through Super Mario 64, the HD remaster from my Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
I've been on a retro gaming kick lately, and just wanting to play the games that I finally remember from a very long time ago. And I was like, I think this game still works, man. And the fun thing about it to me, because when the Nintendo 64 came out back in the day, what we had prior was Super Nintendo. And the jump from the Super Nintendo, which was, all a side-scrolling, run to the right kind of a thing. And then we got to the Nintendo 64, where you had these full 3D worlds that you could go around everywhere in and do things. And I remember going to Blockbuster Video. I'm aging myself here. But I went to Blockbuster Video, and they had a demo of the N64 with Mario 64, and it was the first time I played it. And it just blew my mind. It's just like I can run around anywhere in this, and I had nothing to compare that to. There'd been nothing like that before, and that's a core memory as a gamer of me that stuck with me. So I was playing it and very much enjoying it, and periodically. My oldest son would come in here and say, "Are you playing Super Mario 64 again, Dad?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "How many stars do you have now?" I said, "Right now I'm at 79. He's my second generation gamer, following in my footsteps. I'm very proud.
Yeah, there was no greater feeling than walking into the Blockbuster on a Friday or Saturday night. You head over to that station where you could play the games, where they had the gaming station. Some of them did, where you could play the game for a little bit there in the store. And then there was no worse feeling than when you went to the actual game rental area and all those copies of that game were checked out. Total heartbreak.
Oh, absolutely. Very much remember that.
And you end up going home with Kid Icarus. All right, David, anything else you want to say?
Just real quick, on the subject of Blockbuster, before I get off of here, I did compete in the Blockbuster World Video Game Championship Tournament back in the day. So,
okay. Now hold on. You ain't just going to throw that out there without elaborating.
Gamer.
What year is this, and what games did you play?
I would say probably 94.
Wow. Do you remember what games you played?
I played NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
I would have killed
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Mm-hmm.
And a racing game called Virtual Racing.
Wow. That would have been awesome. I vaguely remember that being a thing.
Yeah. I only really remember it because I participated in it, and I practiced so hard for so many weeks for each game, and choked on the day, man. I was just like, really? Because I knew what I had to do, what they were wanting me to do, like how many points they were wanting me to score, or how many quickly they wanted me to beat a level, or I knew the parameters, and then practice hard. And I just got so nervous when I got there, and I didn't do well.
Man, I think we all have a story like that. How old were you?
14, 15.
Yeah. Now, I think I could take anyone down at NBA Jams, especially the arcade.
I have an NBA Jam arcade machine in my house.
Yeah, we are looking at one right here. We have one in the studio.
Nice.
That's how we roll.
I tell people this, God has gifted me to do a few things well, but only one thing supremely well, and that is to play NBA Jams. I am the best at that of anything I do.
Because he's on fire.
All right, Dave. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's fun.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Sir David, Geek of the Round Table.
Oh, yes. It has been my pleasure, sir. I've had a blast.
All right, man. We'll see you next time.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Pop Culture Pastor.
All right, everybody, that is a wrap for today's episode. Big thanks to our awesome guest, Carley Cowen, streaming there on Twitch, and Sir David Allen, newly minted Geek of the Round Table. And, of course, to all of you out there listening, thank you for sticking around, joining in on the fun. You make this podcast possible. It's for you. It's for community. We're so grateful for each and every one of you in this growing community. If you love what you've been hearing and you love the podcast, we need your help to make it grow and reach even more like-minded pop culture lovers. Here's how you can help. First, you can hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode, the follow button on some platforms, whatever it is. Share the podcast with a friend who loves geek culture or is looking to learn about gaming and pop culture in a whole new way. Leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. That helps us get discovered, and trust me, it makes a huge, huge difference. And, of course, follow us on social media for all the behind-the-scenes action, bonus content, and probably just a lot of memes. Seriously, come say hi. We're working on making this show bigger and better for you every week, but we can't do it without you. So let's keep this pop culture community growing, one awesome listener at a time. Once again, thank you to our guests. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to Pop Culture for giving us so much to talk about. And we'll be back next week with more fun, more guests, and of course, more of what you love. Until then, take care, stay geeky, and remember, whether it's streaming or battling it out at the round table, keep having fun. I don't know. I just wanted to make it sound important. Whatever. We'll see you next week.
Pop Culture Pastor. Pop Culture Pastor. Pop Culture Pastor.